Start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour, where the U.S. House prosecutors have wrapped up their impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump, urging the Senate to convict the former president for inciting the deadly 6th of January insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The prosecutors have also appealed for barring Donald Trump from ever holding the high office again.
Senators, the evidence is clear. We showed you statements, videos, affidavits that prove President Trump incited an insurrection that he alone had the power to stop. And the fact that he didn't stop it, the fact that he incited a lawless attack and abdicated his duty to defend us from it, the fact that he actually further inflamed that mob, attacking his vice president while assassins were pursuing him in this Capitol, more than requires conviction and disqualification. We humbly ask you to convict President Trump for the crime for which he is overwhelmingly guilty of. Because if you don't, if we pretend this didn't happen, or worse, if we let it go unanswered, who's to say it won't happen again?
The House impeachment managers rested their case after 2 days of arguments that included hours of graphic videos from the assault on the Capitol. Now, Donald Trump supporters were seeking to halt the certification of the Democrat Joe Biden's 3rd of November electoral victory. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy had joined the Senate Democrats and 5 Republicans early in the week in a veto to confirm that the impeachment trial was in fact constitutional and should proceed. Now, Bill Cassidy said that he will wait to make a judgment after he hears both sides, as he has a number of questions for the Trump's defense team after the Democrats' presentation.
Make a decision as a juror until you hear both sides. Period. End of story. And so that's why if you ask me the questions I wish to have addressed, I would like to have those addressed. But I don't make a decision until I've heard the other side.
Now, U.S. President Joe Biden said that the devastating presentations by the impeachment managers in the trial may have changed some Republican minds who, until now, were opposed to convicting the former president.
I, like other Americans, watched the news. I didn't watch any of the hearing live because I was going straight through last night till a little after 9. But I watched some this morning. I think the Senate has a very important job to complete, and I think my guess is some minds may have been changed, but I don't know.
The Trump's lawyers will begin their defense on Friday. The argument will be why the former president cannot be held personally responsible for the storming of the Congress. They've also argued that the trial itself is unconstitutional because Donald Trump is now out of office, and therefore any conviction actually may have no further meaning. Now, the Senate, of course, has rejected this argument earlier in the week. It would take a 2/3 majority in the 100-member Senate. That means that at least 17 Republicans will need to join the chamber's 50 Democrats. And Lead House Manager Jamie Raskin has reminded the 100 senators who are sitting as jurors of their oath to render impartial justice in this case.
Why did President Trump do nothing to stop?
All right, now to give us more insight in terms of all of this, of course, means we're joined in by Nick Harper, who's joining us live from Washington, D.C. Nick, what is very significant is what Joe Biden said, that there is a possibility that after the argument that have been presented by the managers in the House, it is quite possible that there could be a change of heart within some members of the Republican Party. Does that look likely?
Well, that's absolutely what the Democrats are relying on. Bear in mind, they need 17 Republicans to join their 50 Democrats to be able to get a conviction in this trial. It's a two-thirds majority that they need. It is a steep number when you bear in mind that on Tuesday, when this trial got underway, those senators were asked whether they felt this was constitutional, and only 6 Republicans said that they felt it was okay to proceed. The other Republican senators all said that it was unconstitutional. Now, of course, Joe Biden is hoping, as the whole Democrat Party is, that over the course of the last couple of days, as the Democrats, as the prosecution in this case, have laid out their case and showed some graphic, horrific footage of the violence that happened on that day. They hope that some of the senators sitting in the chamber will be reminded of the threat that they faced that day from that mob as they stormed through the Capitol building, looking for lawmakers, apparently to try and assassinate. Democrats are hoping that they have done a good enough job to be able to change minds, and they will be able to pick up more Republicans who feel that it is necessary to convict. And I think that's why we saw the Democrats really in their closing arguments during the course of their case presentation, during the course of today, made it clear that this could happen again, that if Donald Trump is not convicted, then he could run for president again, and he could incite this type of violence again, which would inflict a mortal wound, they said, on the whole of America. So they're reminding senators that in order for history not to repeat itself, a guilty verdict is needed in this trial.
Right, at this point of time, what is the buzz within the Republican circles? What arguments are they likely to put forth in defense of their case?
Well, potentially, they're not going to mount much of a defence. His lawyers have up to 16 hours in total to present their case. We're hearing that they may wrap it up in just a few hours, that they may only want to speak for somewhere between 2 to 3 hours. Their main arguments are threefold. First of all, that this is an unconstitutional case, that President Trump is no longer a sitting president. He's a private citizen and therefore cannot be tried in an impeachment trial. Also, that he was exercising his freedom of expression, his right to free speech. He was allowed, under the Constitution, the First Amendment, to say what he wanted. That does not automatically mean that he was inciting insurrection. And they also argue that this attack was planned for days before Donald Trump's speech that came just ahead of the riot. They say that the rioters knew what they were doing. They turned up in Washington, D.C. with a plan, and nothing that Donald Trump said on the day swayed their opinion. They will lay that out, but potentially not take the full 16 hours that they are allotted in order to do so.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, Donald Trump is not someone who's known to, keep his thoughts to himself. We've always heard from his Twitter handle. But right now, because of the fact that there is in many ways, a social media suspension that he's facing, do we at all at this point of time know as to what Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, is thinking about all this?
No, we are in this incredible position after 4 years of a Trump presidency where we effectively had an insight into every thought, every angry outburst that he wanted to make. He was able to on Twitter with just a quick tweet from his phone. We are suddenly very much in the dark. He no longer has a Twitter account whereby he can effectively say what he wants to give his live tweet reaction to this trial that's unfolding. He put out a few statements just ahead of the trial beginning, saying again that it was unconstitutional, that it was political theatre, that it shouldn't be happening. But since then, we've had no public comments from the president. He's holed up at his estate, Mar-a-Lago, in Florida, as a private citizen, watching this trial like the rest of the American public. Of course, he will want to be able to say something, but doesn't have an outlet currently to do so. So yes, it's very difficult to know exactly what he's thinking. But privately, we have heard that he was angry with his lawyers when they first set out their case on day one of this trial. He felt that they didn't do a good enough job, that they didn't defend him to the hilt, that some of their speeches were rambling. That was also the sentiment among some Republican senators. So it'll be very interesting to see what the first public reaction is from Donald Trump over the next few days and potentially at the end of this trial.
All right, we'll have to leave there. Thank you very much indeed, Nick Harper, for joining us and getting us all those updates there.